Nicole Gibbs invites us beyond the surface of sound therapy and into the fascinating intersection of science and soul. Through her deep understanding of brainwave activity and the nervous system, she reveals how specific frequencies can gently guide the brain into states of calm, clarity, and restoration. What happens in the body when we truly listen? How can sound become a tool for emotional balance, stress relief, and healing? From improving sleep and easing anxiety to reconnecting us with our inner rhythm, Nicole shows us that sound is more than something we hear. It's something we feel, something that realigns us on a cellular level. Whether you're drawn to the science, the spirituality, or both, today's conversation will open up a new way to experience healing. So get comfortable, soften your shoulders, and let's explore the magic and the neuroscience of sound together. This is week 9, a conversation with Nicole Gibbs. Welcome, Nicole. It's my honor to have you here with us this morning.
Thank you. I'm super excited to talk about my favorite topic in the whole world.
Well, we've talked before, and I'm just so grateful that you have the space to do this with us this morning. I thought I would just start with some questions I put together, but everyone on the line is welcome to unmute and ask a question. I'll do my very best to keep us on track for the next 20 minutes or so, and to see when, just sort of interrupt, and we'll come back to you. So as I mentioned in the intro, you're an EEG technologist. Could you tell us and explain what that is and what you do? I mean, are you physically in a lab or in a hospital? Like, could you just unpack that a little?
Absolutely, yes. So an EEG technologist, we measure the electrical activity in the brain with electrodes. So I went from a hospital setting, putting these electrodes on heads and applying them, to now working from home and strictly just reading EEGs all over the world, really. And the EEG picks up through these electrodes our different brain activity, our different waves and frequencies. So if our brain's in delta or theta, alpha, beta, and each frequency range correlates to different patterns on the EEG, correlate to different diseases within the body. And diseases is just anything out of alignment or vibrating out of harmony. So really we can see when the body is vibrating in or out of harmony strictly through these electrodes, picking up the electricity in our brain and relaying them onto a screen on like little squiggles. And it's all about pattern recognition.
Wow.
Everything is geometry. So yes, I worked in hospital and now I am working from home.
Wow. So you literally look at these patterns, if you will, on your screen of different people. And do you then like create a report type of thing, like a radiologist would do if they're looking at a scan?
Yes.
Is that kind of the idea?
That's correct. It's like a live in-time monitor of people who are wearing these EEGs in their homes or in hospitals all over the world, and it brings up in live time on our computer. So I'm looking for any abnormalities, anything that looks abnormal firing of the brain, and then, yes, typing up a report, a lot of troubleshooting, so I know a lot of IT things. But yes, that is what the job is. I love my job.
And you do that just, obviously weekends, I mean, holidays, it's just like being in the medical world, right? You're just...
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. And you have been doing that for so long that, I mean, you were able to sort of take that information, that science, and start to see patterns of healing. Like you can actually see the way things could, your brain can go in, and your body can go into rest and healing, correct?
Yes. So what's amazing is what happens during the brain, depending on the frequency that we're seeing on the EEG, the body is mimicking those hertz. So hertz and frequency is waves per second. So your brain is making waves, sine waves up and down, and each wave per second is the hertz or the frequency. So when we're talking about like 10 hertz, that's 10 waves per second. That's just an idea, or something even higher. We can go up to 963 hertz, which is the crown chakra correlating. So
Wow.
everything is just waves per second, and each of those correlate to rest, relaxation, calmness, anxiety. Like every state of consciousness is a frequency. And knowing that, we're able to use those frequencies to restore balance in a way. And that is what I've been passionate about, is merging those two together. So the brain, when we're resting and relaxing, we're no longer processing information, but we come into a state of healing and restoring harmony. Excuse me. And so that's when your brain will go from a beta, very fast and processing, to alpha, more calm, 8 to 10 waves per second, and then even into a theta and delta, which we see in sleep, deep sleep, where we can really start to see true healing. Theta is the state of where manifestation can truly happen, and it's the best when you first wake up and first go to sleep. We can see that. But yeah,
Wow.
that's just a little bit about the EEG frequencies.
Wow. It's so when Nicole had mentioned, the other Nicole had mentioned earlier on the call about women's brains doing more and needing
Hmm.
rest. Hello, you just proved it.
Yes, I literally see that in real time, actually.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So, so when we're listening to healing frequencies or sound baths that you create, are you creating, you know, more of um, that deep sleep like sounds that the
Yes,
brain mimic? Is that how it would work?
yes, that's exactly. So our brain, it's like a frequency mimicking effect. Like whatever the frequency is vibrating around you, buzzing around you, everything is frequency. Your body is picking it up like a mirror, and it then does the same thing within our brain and creates those frequencies within. And so by compiling frequencies, say you're having issues with insomnia or sleeping, we can create a sound healing track that has delta or theta, so that your brain then mimics that frequency to get into that state. It's more than just alpha, delta, theta. It's far beyond. It's
Right.
the chakras, the solfeggio. There's a frequency for everything. If you want healthy lungs, there's a 880 hertz for that. If you want, everything has a balanced state. Every organ runs in a frequency to be healthy and to be harmonized. So when something's having an issue, we need to restore those frequencies because it's no longer vibrating in harmony.
And it's as simple as just listening.
It's pretty much, yeah, because our body is frequency. We are vibrations. We are energy. That's all we truly are. So we are picking up the world around us. We're like a Wi-Fi emitting and
Right.
picking up
Right.
these antennas of energy and bringing it back within. And so what frequency are you running at? What vibration or channel are you tuned to? So we can use that to really bring in harmony to what's vibrating out of harmony, because we know the frequency that brings resonance to that. So if you're having ailments anywhere, just allowing the body to sit in that vibration, it mimics that. Your brain is creating that pattern. Your body starts to then mimic that. The organs affect the organs in the nearing bodies around as well. And
Mm.
so it's all about the rest and the intention. I can't stress enough. Intention is everything. If you just
So
turn
that,
it on
yeah.
and just like listen, yeah, that's great. But if your intention is, I am visualizing this healing, I'm visualizing the frequencies doing what they need to in the space they need to, the visualization just takes it to another level, that's for sure.
And that was sort of my next question, because we talk about how you blend the science and intuition so beautifully. And so
Hmm.
um, my question was, how do you personally balance the technical data of EEG with the more spiritual, energetic side of sound healing? And I'm kind of assuming that's intention.
Yes, intention is huge, but it really does go hand in hand. I mean, if you want to balance your energy, we know that inducing the homeostatic, the physical and mental state, it reduces cortisol and increases coherence in our EEG patterns. So it's like what your goal is, we know what the EEG would look like if this was done properly. And so we can use the data of all this information. I personally am compiling data of all the hertz of frequencies that equal a harmonized, healthy organ for everything, liver, kidney, lungs, everything like that. As far as chakras and the solfeggio frequencies are mapping the chakra system. So I just have a compile of all this data of frequencies that equal the healthy harmony. So when I create sound healings, I can incorporate that frequency in addition to other instruments, because
Wow.
instruments also correlate to different organs and different characteristics, feelings, emotions, all of that's energy and frequency.
And so it's the sound, but then like you said, there like on the sound healings you created for us, those back in 2023. I mean, there's
Mm-hmm.
some beautiful instruments that just kind of come in and out at certain times. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's your understanding of the frequencies of the instruments as well. That
Right.
you've kind
Yes. So the
wow.
instruments, I mean, that was something I was starting to learn in college that honestly really got me into this, knowing that metal bells equal lungs. This is Chinese medicine theory, music theory. And so they
Mm,
know that strings, silk, like pianos, we know that correlates to the heart. And let's see, the kidneys is leather, like drums, like different materials even correlate to
wow.
organs. So I just have this map of different things. So when I'm creating the music, I know, say we want to work on like a lung detox, I'll do an 880 hertz along with some drums, so it's leather, because it really resonates all of it together as one. Your body can understand that in a subconscious way that you don't even remember
Understand.
that we
Yeah,
are
that you
correlated to these frequencies. Yes.
it's like an imprint of, humanity. It's got nothing really even to do with what you physically as a person know.
Yes, we
And
always remember.
sorry, it's Peg. That's actually the question that's going through. Are we all? It's the same frequency uh, across. It's consistent across humans,
Mm-hmm.
or do we each have our own different
That's a
pattern?
beautiful question. Yes. So it really, you have your own individual resonance. You are a specific frequency that's making a beautiful sound in this collective orchestra that we
Mm,
are all a part of. However, your physical bodies that we are not, we are human bodies, but we are beyond that, right? So if your human bodies, in order to maintain that healthy shape or that resonance, will have that specific frequency. But the accumulation of all of your energies running at whatever frequency it is gives you a unique sound, if that makes sense.
mm.
And so
Yeah,
depending on your health, but each frequency body is the same specific frequency to be that. In order to have specific shape, you vibrate at this frequency, if that makes sense.
it does, because I always say, you know how sometimes you come across people and they just for some reason rub you the wrong way. I don't know if that's the right.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Right.
just like, something is not meshing well, and I wonder how much of that is,
Mm-hmm.
is just an incompatible personal frequency.
Honestly, that is a very good perspective to have, because we're all just walking energy. If you can picture our auras extending off our body even like 50 feet, and you're just these buzzing energy, if you come into contact with another energy that just repels your energy, it's complete opposite. It almost can make you sick, because it's a energy that doesn't match you anymore. You're a higher vibration perhaps, and it's just bringing you lower. So then you're going to have these releases of chemicals and things like that to allow you to have these feelings. So it really is a match of energy, match of vibration, and you can feel if it's meant to be in your life or not, honestly.
Yeah,
Mm.
harmony versus lack of harmony, right?
Hmm.
to
Exactly.
to pull the music
Out of
theme in
bounds.
there.
I know you have to. I wanted to bring a visual up. Has anyone seen they're like somatic boards, and they have sand on them and they vibrate to different frequencies, and the
Yes.
sand shifts into different shapes and geometry patterns depending on that frequency. No matter how many times you change that frequency, it's always going to return back to that exact same shape with
Huh.
that correlating frequency, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Um,
imagine that happening within all these beautiful shapes changing at all times.
wow. Um, for someone who's new to sound therapy, what would you say is the most accessible way to begin working with sound in their daily life? Like, how would you go about, like, the doctor tells you to, take vitamins, take your pills for this, but I would like a daily sound healing
Mm-hmm.
sounds. I mean, Lisa would
Mm-hmm.
always talk about that, a daily sound healing. And I, I try to do it, but I'm not going to lie. It's, not always the easiest thing to do. So do you have
For
any,
sure.
thoughts, tricks,
Yes,
tips?
there are. It is so much simpler than you can even imagine. Listening to nature is the best start. Just hearing and listening to the sounds around you is medicine in itself. It's all organic frequencies that we are correlating to.
Mm,
So listening to nature, I think, is the number one thing. Humming and sounds are huge for bringing sound healing into the body. Each one of those correlate to another chakra, in fact. And so doing humming different sounds will correlate to different chakras. So you can even just do things that are around you all the time, or things that you're already doing, humming a song, just listening to things around you. It can be as simple as that.
wow.
But if you want to get a little deeper, if you want to get into a habit, it's all about habit. So if you can
Mhm.
really get into 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, consistency is key. Choose a time, morning or night, some free space you have in the middle of the day, whatever it is, and either have a meditation on, a sound healing bath on, but just have it a part of your day where you just have a few minutes. It could be a part of a meditation that you just want to breathe, whatever it is, but just having consistency, a sound bath in the morning or the night, it really is good for getting you into the mental space to allow clarity and true manifestation into your life, and not from external programs that are constantly buzzing around us. So it's
Right.
very, very important to have that. So in the morning and the night, listen to a little thing from YouTube or anything like that. I have my website and YouTube with all kinds of free tracks. So
Yes, yes, and you
singing, get your
created
own
those for
singing
us
bowl.
too. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
So that is my passion, really. So I try to create those tools and resources so they are readily available. I do hate to say this, but there are so much AI creations out there that you'll see something that says maybe 528 hertz heart chakra or something, but it's actually not even in that frequency, and you don't even know what you're listening to. So
Right.
to trust the source is
Yeah,
huge. So
yes.
I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, no, thank you for that, because I that was on my mind too. Like, you know, when you and I first met, AI, was obviously out there, but it wasn't mainstream like it
Mhm.
is now. And so
It's true.
I never felt fear that what we were doing together was somehow less than, but
Hmm.
you're right. Now you just have no idea. So yeah,
Unfortunately true.
you guys can trust the ones from
Yes.
us. And they're powerful. Do you have any uh, surprising or powerful transformation that you've witnessed in someone that actually
Hmm.
used your sound and frequency work?
Yes, actually, I have a couple stories. I have my sister's friend has been dealing with it was a carcinoma that he had been dealing for a long time, and I created a very specific track for him, and he was able to immediately feel just more hope, confidence, just clarity about life and what his path was. And I just was so thankful to hear his words coming from the track I created him, and he has gotten past that now, and he is currently in good health now. So I'm very thankful for that.
Wow.
As well as, I know I'm so thankful for that.
Wow.
I wanted to share one in the hospital, though, not with my track specifically, but there was a patient in a coma, and they had a family member coming in regularly to play like a didgeridoo and a flute, like Indian wood flute. And he
Oh,
came out of that coma. I'm not even joking. He was supposed to be comatose like the rest of his life. And within the week, he was able to come out of that coma. And when he came out, he says he just couldn't stop hearing that music, is what he told us. And
wow.
so that was just like a goosebump moment of
Yeah.
what's really going on. And the frequencies is what kept him just at this space of everything's okay, everything is healthy, and I can heal myself. I just
Yes.
couldn't believe that one.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
I know when my daughter was recently had a procedure, and when you wait to go um, into surgery, I mean, you're waiting. It's like pins and needles, and so I put one of your sound healings on for her,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, it was calming to me and to her, but it just created this sort of um, just a quietness, but also like a strength too. I don't know how else to describe it, but there was like a
Mm-hmm.
strength, a quiet strength. And
Mm-hmm.
I was actually talking with a friend of mine whose husband is an emergency doctor, and she was just saying, "Gosh, if we could have sound healings,
Mm-hmm.
playing and available, in people's, just earplugs, I mean, AirPods, you know what I mean? Put them on, like
Yeah.
how different, outcomes could be, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I mean, once learning all of this in the 1800s, they were playing sound healing for soldiers in the war, and it
Mm,
was profound, the healing change. So it is kind of interesting that we've kind of moved away from that after knowing the
knowing
impact,
that it
but
was there.
that's
Hmm.
because it's true healing, right? And that's not
Right.
medicine. So,
Yeah, that's
um,
true too. Yeah.
but I also wanted to say, when you said you put on that sound healing for your friend, I similarly had someone next to me was just so anxious, and she was just like, I feel like I can't even do anything. I can't get out of bed. I can't leave my house. Like, I'm just so riddled with anxiety. And I just said, even classical music, just
Mm,
put it on for a couple minutes. It's literally that fast. It's actually faster than the speed of light that your cells feel the shift of that frequency energy.
wow.
She immediately felt a calming where everything just kind of like was in a suspended mode of just stillness and calmness. And she said, this is probably the first time I felt like my heart has actually like beated in a calm state and not rushing in my throat and feeling this anxiety. And she literally could not believe, just in a minute of listening to just some string music, violins, classical music, that she was able to come into a space where she could have some control over her thoughts for the first time in a very long time.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, I'm looking at the clock, and I hate to have to stop, but I want to honor
Yeah,
everyone's
no problem.
time. And I'm just beyond grateful, not only to have met you all years ago, but the fact that we collaborated on the 6 sound healings that align with I Am My Strongest Self. So if you guys ever want to pop one on, just go onto Substack. They're listed by each principle. You can probably just search on the principle, and it might come up. It should come up, I should say. And maybe, I don't know, maybe Nicole, you could come back. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm
I
going
have
to
a
Yeah.
go ahead.
question,
Yes.
Christine. Will you have a link to Nicole's YouTube?
Yes. Well, I have a link on the Substack that goes directly to her website. And
Okay.
what's amazing with her website is there's, like she said, there's a catalog of free sound healings. There's also everything down to what headphones she recommends. So it is a
Mm-hmm.
very full website that has a lot of information and a lot of things for both purchase and for as gifts. So yeah, yes, it's there on the Substack. I will write in the comments on social media. I'll link up to her as well. I think I did, but I'll do it again. Yeah.
Okay,
But
thank
yes,
you. And Nicole, thank you so much for being here today. This was a gift.
yes,
Oh,
Yes,
thank you so
agreed.
much
Thank
for
you.
saying that. It's been an awesome opportunity, and I would love to come back. The energy that you ladies have and hold is absolutely beautiful.